Hi, it's Alaska Granny. Remember when you could go places like the Dollar Tree and you could load up on 20 items for $20? Those days are long gone. Even going to Walmart, especially here in Alaska, it's nearly impossible to find any kind of food that you want to add into your prepper pantry and your food stockpile that's only $1. So I went on a $20 shopping spree and I wanted to get some items to add into my prepper pantry. It's important to have a stockpile of food because then you can make a meal anytime you need to. It doesn't matter if you're busy, if you don't feel well, if the car needs gas but it's too expensive to fill it up, or you just don't have the bandwidth to decide what I want to make for dinner. You don't have to try to order something that costs a lot of extra money. You can get some meals made quickly out of the foods that you have in your pantry and your food storage stockpile. It's harder to add to that stockpile these days because food does cost more. So I have 10 items that I bought for $20, and I'm going to show you what they are, how I plan to use them, and what they cost these days. The first item I bought was a can of ham. Ham in a can is great because you can just pop it open. You can use it to make sandwiches. You can put it into scrambled eggs. You can serve it with scalloped potatoes. You can serve it into soups and stews. Canned meats are versatile and they're a great addition to your food storage stockpile. And I find that I have lots of chicken, lots of beef, even lots of tuna. So I thought I want to make sure that I have a variety. So I picked up 1 can of ham. I did my shopping at Walmart in Alaska and this can was $2.32. Next, I picked up a can of Progresso beef and vegetable soup. This is versatile because you could turn it more into a stew by adding more vegetables. You could serve it over noodles, mashed potatoes, or even rice. It's important to have cans of food that are meals that you could just open and eat it, and that would be enough. This can of Progresso beef soup at Walmart in Alaska was $2.74. I picked up 1 package of the Knorr cheddar broccoli pasta side. These also come in rice. And something I noticed a few years ago, the pastas are with the pasta aisle and the rice sides are on the rice aisle. And where I go shopping, those are in a different aisle. And for a while I thought, how come they only have rice? How come they only have pasta? And then I realized it's because they keep them in 2 different places in the store. I remember picking these up for 99 cents or $1, but now it was $1.43 at Walmart in Alaska. I bought 1 jar of Classico pasta sauce. I know it's a little more expensive than other types, but I like this one, and sometimes it's worth paying a little bit more to have food that you enjoy eating rather than just the cheapest food that you can get. Pasta sauce is nice. Of course, you can serve it over pasta. You can add all kinds of things into your pastas. You can also take a jar of pasta sauce and add all kinds of things and turn it into a nice big pot of soup. So a jar of pasta sauce is versatile. This Classico pasta sauce at Walmart in Alaska was $3.58. One of the reasons I like the Classico jars is because they are a canning size jar and you can then clean them well. It can fit a regular canning lid and a ring, or you can clean out this lid and use it to store other food. You just need to be sure that you get the lids very clean, but if you can't get the lid completely clean, you can put a canning jar lid onto the jar and then use this lid as the ring, and then you don't have to worry about odors from the lid contaminating your stored food. Next, I picked up a can of Bush's baked beans. I think these are delicious. It's great to have all kinds of cans of black beans, pinto beans, kidney beans, white beans. There's all different kinds of beans. But sometimes we don't want to have to figure out what to do with that can of beans. And if you have a can of baked beans, you have something that's already flavorful. And so they do cost more. Bush's baked beans at the Walmart here in Alaska was $2.17. A can of baked beans is versatile because you can heat it up as a side to a barbecue. You could brown some ground beef, add it into your baked beans for a nice meal idea. You could also grill up some sliced sausage, stir that into your beans, and that makes a nice meal. You could serve either of those over mashed potatoes, pasta, or rice, and you have a versatile way to stretch those foods. You could even turn it into a kind of a sweet but different kind of chili with some spicy tomatoes. I bought 1 can of cream style corn. I like it just as a side, or you can stir it into cornbread before you bake it. You can also make soups and stews thicker and creamier with the addition of a can of cream corn instead of just kernel corn. Vegetables are going up. This can of corn at Alaska Walmart was $1. I bought 1 can of tomatoes. These are Italian style flavored diced tomatoes. They're already seasoned with basil, garlic, and oregano, so they're great as a starter to chili or to pasta sauces or to soups and stews. So canned tomatoes are extremely versatile, so I like to have all different kinds of varieties of canned tomatoes in my food stockpile. The can of tomatoes at Walmart in Alaska was $1.24. There's a lot of things that go great over pasta, so I picked up a box of linguine. Remember when you could get this for $1 a pound? Not anymore. At Alaska Walmart, the pounds of pasta, now the store brand, are $1.48. So I'm glad that I bought a lot of it in the past, but it's always good to use, rotate, replace those foods. And so that is something that I do. When I buy boxes of pasta, I bring them home and I transfer them into clean jars with a tight-fitting lid. And you can see this is one of the Classico jars that I've reused. And so you just need to put on the lid. I was able to get this lid very nicely clean, so you can just screw that lid back on. And the pasta is stored airtight in a cool, dark, dry environment, and it can last for up to 30 years. Pasta lasts forever. Even if you buy something like, say, a macaroni and cheese that has the cheese packet and the macaroni, don't just figure because it's out of date that it isn't any good anymore, because most likely the macaroni is fine even if the cheese packet isn't. So don't just throw it away. Check it out before you throw it out. You might find that all of it is still good, or at least the macaroni. I bought 1 can of fruit, canned peaches, and they're packed in their own juice. And peaches are always a nice treat to have. You can stir them into oatmeal. You can serve it over ice cream. You can make some little biscuits, serve that over a hot biscuit, maybe add a dollop of whipping cream. You have a nice dessert. But just a bowl of peaches can be a very nice treat as well. This can of peaches from the Alaska Walmart was $2.14. The last item is a can of the Great Value luncheon meat. It's like generic Spam, and it's pretty good if it's something that you like. It's a salty ham-like meal. So what you do is you can open it up, you can slice it up, fry it as it is, make a sandwich, you can dice it up, add it into teriyaki rice, things like that. You can stir it into potatoes, all kinds of things that you can do with a can of luncheon meat or Spam. I made a video before on how I turn Spam into fritters, and I'll put a link to that in case that's something that you want to try. It's actually pretty tasty, and it certainly gives you variety into the meals that you can make from your prepper pantry and your food storage stockpile. This can of luncheon meat from Walmart in Alaska was $2.53. So these are my 10 items that I bought for my food storage stockpile, my prepper pantry. I actually spent $20.63. There's no tax on items in Alaska. That's a bonus not to have to pay sales tax compared to other states. So leave it in the comments below. What do you think about these prices of food in Alaska? I know that they're more expensive because things need to all be brought from the lower 48. So then the price does go up. That's one of the cons of living in Alaska, but there's so many more pros that I just love it here. Tell us what other items you would like to buy to add into your stockpile, and before you buy anything, make sure you have an idea of how you're going to use it. Don't just buy something because it's cheap or somebody said it's prepper food. Buy foods that you plan to use. You know how to prepare them, you know how you're going to have them, and then if you have, say, a particular recipe that you want to use it for, make sure that you buy those other things together so that you can use that food. And then make sure that you're using, rotating, and replacing these foods, because you're not supposed to be just collecting food. You're supposed to be making your stockpile a little larger so it'll last longer, but you still need to be utilizing it. It's a waste of money if you're just stocking it up just for a collection. Then you may as well stock your money into the bank account, because then you can still use that, and the food could expire before you ever use it if you never plan to. Let's keep prepping. It's important. We don't know what the future holds, but we know that the better prepared we are, the better we'll be able to face each day. I hope you'll like my video, share it. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.